In this video I'm going to explain you the most important things that you need to know should you want to visit Switzerland during January. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jemo. I'm going to talk about the different things like weather, attractions, snow, season and the prices. Basically anything that you need to know to be well prepared for your travels. Let's get started with the first thing, and that would be that the days are rather short. The shortest day of the year is on December 22nd. Sun is setting around 4:35 p.m. and in January sunsets are still early, around 4:45 p.m. to 5:15 p.m. That is towards the end of the month. Because of that, you need to be aware that the hours of daylight, they're only little, and you should get up rather early, around 7:30 or 8 a.m. And then at 8:30 am, it's already going to be quite bright. Well, I know it's quite a downside that the days are rather short in January, but then you'll have the advantage that you can easily get up for seeing the winter sunrises because the days are rather short. And for that, you only need to wake up around 7 or even 7:30 because the sunrise usually happens at 7:45 or 8 a.m. That's a really great thing that you cannot do in summer. There the sunrise is very early at 5 a.m. and you would have to wake up at 4:30 a.m. That's already very early. Now the next thing is, in January it's Christmas and New Year hangover. So January starts with a great New Year celebration, especially if you're up in the Swiss Alps. There's going to be really great parties and also beautiful fireworks. Like if you come to Andermatt, they usually have 20 minutes fireworks. But you can also see that in other tourist regions in Switzerland or even by the lake in some of the cities. Then at January 2nd, that's usually the day when the holidays are ending, people are going back to work and kids back to school. So in January then it's going to be a rather low season because pretty much everybody's busy with his daily life, and that is actually a great thing should you want to travel and enjoy Switzerland with only little people. Then also important to know is that some of the Christmas markets, they're still on in very early January. Yes, I know this sounds surprising, but Christmas season is actually lasting until January 6th. And after that, then it's definitely over. The last Christmas market is closing, and then it's going to be like this until late of November. Some of the Christmas markets that would be still open during early January would be the Merlestadt in Stein am Rhein, then also in Lugano and in some few other places. Talking about the snow, January is usually quite a snowy month. You have quite high chances to experience snowfall, especially up in the Alps. Because of that, you'll have great conditions on the ski slopes and also on the toboggan runs should you prefer going for sledding. Even down in the plains, there is quite a chance for snowfall. Usually it happens around 2 to 3 times at max, but the snow over there is only going to last for 1 or even 2 days. This actually has been a bit different in the past. There was a little bit more snowfall and then usually the snow was lasting for around 3 days. But nowadays this is usually quite rare. Well, it's really fantastic in January if you go up to the Swiss Alps to go to one of the summits. Then you may enjoy a breathtaking panorama of the entire Alps being covered with snow. I find that's really magical to see such a beautiful winter wonderland. And here I have to tell you something very important. If you're up in the Alps when there's a lot of snow and it's sunny, then you better want to bring your sunglasses because it can be very bright, actually too bright, and that can cause eye damage. And also you may want to put sunblock on your face because even in winter, I know this sounds a bit strange, the risk for getting a sunburn is quite high. You know, usually you would only wear sunblock during summer, but up in the Alps, the radiation is a lot higher than down in the plains. The weather in January is usually quite stable, I would say. Yes, there may be rainfall, but in general it's a rather dry and also cold month. So if you're up in the Swiss Alps, you definitely may benefit from the dry weather. On the summits you can actually have great vistas seeing over a few tens of kilometers. It's also going to be really cold. Usually in the Alps it's between -7 to +3. It can also be colder, it has been even -30. Sometimes it can also be +7 degrees. That's not really great for skiing, but in general I would say plan with the weather being rather cold. So bring along clothes that are really good for cold weather. I usually wear a singlet, then 2 t-shirts that are quite thick, pullover and a jacket. And of course a cap, sunglasses as I mentioned, and please bring good shoes. In winter, there's a lot of snow, there's also ice and can be very slippery. And if you're just wearing sport shoes, unfortunately a lot of people are doing that, even local Swiss. I really don't understand why people can wear these shoes up in the snow. But these shoes are really bad because they got no profile, and then also they're not waterproof. But if you're wearing proper shoes like these here, then you'll have a good profile, and also they're waterproof, so just perfect for going out in the snow. What's also very important to keep in mind, during the day it can be warmer, can be like -1 or +3 in the Alps, but in the night usually the temperatures will drop and can be easily -7 or even -10. And then you definitely want to wear proper winter clothes. Down in the plains it's usually warmer. There it's normally between -1 to, let's say, +10 degrees. Can be colder, it has also been -12, but even sometimes in January it can be +20 degrees. That actually has happened, especially in the recent years. Next will be the attractions. What's very important for you to know, most of the summer attractions, they remain closed until end of March or even April, and some of them, they may even be closed until the end of June. But in winter, you'll have a different set of attractions, which is really cool. You'll have, for example, all these toboggan runs, they're really fun. My favorite one is in Bergün. You can also go to Andermatt or Grindelwald. There are actually so many all over this country. Then of course skiing, I'm going to talk about that later. You can also go up to the summits, as I said. There are also magical forests, for example the one at the Schwarzsee or at the Lenzer Heide, it's called Zauberwald. There you usually go in the night when everything is dark, you'll have the snow and then the entire forest is being lit up. It's going to look really beautiful. Also in January you'll have light festivals in some of the cities, for example in Murten or in Lucerne. That one is called Lilou. I really like the Lilou. The entire city of Lucerne is going to be lit up. The churches, the bridge, there are a couple of great attractions. And even if you go inside the churches, you can actually see some great light shows. Definitely very beautiful, and it's actually all free, unless if you're going for the shows, for those you have to pay. And be aware, it can be actually quite busy, so better purchase your ticket in advance. What I also really like to do in January is taking the train up in the Alps, when you're going to be taken through these winter wonderland landscapes. Some people even say that the Hogwarts Express is actually passing through Switzerland, and others they claim that the Polar Express is crossing the Swiss Alps. And who knows, maybe you even may end up in Narnia. No, I'm just kidding, but definitely it's going to be really magical. The Glacier Express, that's probably the most famous train line in Switzerland, but there are also cheaper alternatives. For example, the Matterhorn-Gotthardbahn that connects Zermatt to Visp, to Andermatt and Göschenen. I really like that train ride, it's usually going to be not that busy. The ski resorts are really great to visit in January, there will be less people, and also you have great conditions on the slopes, as I already mentioned. There are many ski resorts all around the country, for example the Porte du Soleil, Quatre Vallées, Zermatt, Saas-Fee, Aletsch Arena, Samnaun-Ischgl and many more. By the way, if you want to know which are some of the best ski resorts of Switzerland, I made a top 5 ski resorts video that you may want to watch after this one. During the week there will be only a few people on the tracks, but on the weekends it's going to be different. Everybody has off and we're all traveling to the Alps, so over there it can be quite busy. For retired people, I would say January is the best month during winter. You may enjoy ski slopes with little people, and this is certainly very important because the risk for collisions is quite low. And because there are not so many people on the slopes during January, it's going to be cheaper for you to purchase tickets. The same is also the case for reserving hotels. The hotels are not fully booked, because of that you may benefit from lower prices, and it's also easier for you to book last minute. Well, here you have to be a bit aware, not every hotel is able to be booked last minute, especially the smaller and luxurious ones, but definitely it's much easier to do it during January than in February and March, which are considered peak season. Now let's talk about the food. In January it's pretty similar to Christmas, although you won't have dishes like Christstollen and the typical waffles and so on. But otherwise it's the same, especially up in the Swiss Alps. We eat a lot of fondue, raclette, fondue chinoise, that's with meat instead of with cheese, and many more. Other dishes like Metzgete, this would include blood sausages, liver sausages, anything about organs, pork neck, Really great dishes, and I actually have to say it's something very interesting for you to try, and it's also not that expensive. There's still many fondue and glühwein huts everywhere, even in the cities. This is something I find is very great during January. In Switzerland you also eat a lot of salads, and then typical for winter would be this one here. In Swiss German you call it Nüssli Salat. The past roads in Switzerland, they're pretty much going to be all closed. I know it's really great to drive on the roads and enjoy the Swiss Alps and all the views and being pretty much alone. And you probably also have seen videos and photos of people driving on the past roads during winter with a lot of snow. Well, here I have to be honest. Some of these photos and videos, they're actually taken in October and November, and still during that time, some of the past roads can be open. But these are not taken during winter, so here don't let yourself be fooled. There are a few pass roads that are open, for example the Brünig Pass, that one is open during the entire year. That one connects Lucerne to Interlaken, and also the Julia Pass in Graubünden is open during all year. It's a very important one, so they're really doing a lot of effort to keep it open even if there's a lot of snow. If you want to experience a pass road with a lot of snow, then that one is definitely going to be a great choice for you. Now, if you want to take a shortcut, there are car train tunnels that you can take. For example, at Furka, there's the Autoverlad. That one connects Uri to Valais, or then even the Vereina from Davos to the Unterengadin, or Autoverlad Lötschberg at Kandersteg to Valais. These are really great. It's actually nice. You just enter with your car on the train and then just lay back and enjoy the ride and relax. I find this is really cool, but here you have to know, during the weekends it can be very crowded. Especially on Sundays when everybody's going back from skiing, then sometimes the waiting times can be, well, at best case 1 hour, but at the worst case up to 3 or even 3.5 hours. So here you really have to make sure that you're planning smart. Either you leave early or you just leave very late. But then if you leave very late, you also have to be aware they're actually closing after 11:30 p.m. So, as you can see, January is a really great month for you to travel. It's not very touristy, and you can also benefit from cheaper prices. Now, if you want to know how is it to travel in Switzerland during February, then I'm going to see in this video. Otherwise, if you're more interested in the top attractions of Switzerland during winter, then I'm going to see you over there.